Hey, this is Adam Torres, and I'm here to tell you that it has never been easier to start your very own podcast. At Mission Matters, our goal is to amplify stories that matter. That means we want to help you start your podcast because your story matters. We can do this in 3 different ways. 1, join our podcast school and take a free or paid course. 2, visit our resources page where we've already figured out what you need, such as where to host your podcast. Or 3, heck, we can even do everything for you through our podcast agency, including editing for cheaper than you can do in-house. Oh, and no contract, services month to month. Get started by heading over to missionmatters.com and click on Start a Podcast. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Raju Datla on the line. He's a business owner over at Mikshi Essential Services, and he's also a host of The Growth Mindset. Raju, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks for having me.
So, Raju, I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk about Mikshi Essential Services and the work you're doing there. And we're also going to talk about your show, The Growth Mindset. But before we do that, just to give the audience a little bit of your background, tell us a little bit more about how you got started in your career and in business.
Sure, yeah. So my career background is actually IT, so tech guy, very passionate about technology. Tried my hand in startups. But 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, well, more like 3 years ago, divorced and was looking at options, thinking of startups again when I ran into the business, the essential services business, which kind of made sense because good economy, bad economy, we always are going to use some of the services we have at home and businesses. And once I saw it, it made sense and it was the right time for me to get in. And that's how I got into the service, and that also led me to the personal development and growth we can talk about later.
No, that's awesome, and I think it's a great transition. So let's just dive into today's topic. So first off, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at Mikshi Essential Services.
So what we do essentially is think of Amazon. Amazon, wherein obviously they provide all kinds of products pretty much at the cheapest market price or cheaper than the market price. But they don't do anything to do with your home or business services like your internet, TV, electricity, all that stuff. So what we do is the same concept. We provide all these services at a cheapest market or cheaper than the market price. And the customers or the consumers get to shop all the services in one-stop shop. They're not only cutting costs, but we also feed kids. That's our huge charity org. We work with Feeding America, and we feed thousands, actually millions of kids each year by acquiring customers. So it's a win-win situation where the customers are getting a value, and then we also provide services that's convenient for them, and also provide the kids in their neighborhood essentially food. The biggest thing I do, a little bit more about that is I try to work with a lot of multifamily owners mainly, because what we can do is we not only can give them a concierge type of service for their customer or tenants, but we can actually increase their NOI. Because we can give a percentage of that billing volume to them, and thereby they're not only giving a better service to their tenants, but they're also making extra cash on their on the tenants that that they're not getting right now. So that's a big target of mine right now. I'll try to work with the multifamily owners to share the information.
Let's go a little bit further down that line. So what are typically, so you said multifamily, so what are typically the right types of clients in general that are a good fit to work with you and your company overall?
So right fit would be anybody in real estate specifically would be a great fit, either realtors, real estate investors, specifically multifamily would be even better with real estate investors because multifamily, they're looking for any edge to increase their cap rate or NOI. So this would give them an edge with very minimal investment and very minimal, any kind of disturbance to their tenants and all. All they're going to do is it's a very minimal investment, one-time fee, and then after that, they pretty much get I would say, depending on the market, about $10 per door extra per month. So let's say I'll get, I'll just throw
that's
an
significant.
example.
Yeah, that's significant.
Exactly. So let's say 250 door, kind of a mid-sized, pretty good, decent-sized apartment complex. We estimate potentially up to 35 to 40K more per year using ours.
Wow.
So
I feel like there's some people listening right now that they just now were like, wait a minute, what did this guy say? I'm going to have to rewind this now again. They weren't listening. Can you say those numbers again?
So on a 250 unit, again, it depends on the market. I have to,
of course.
and all, I'll have to, talk in depth with whoever is interested. But basically, 250 unit apartment, about 35 to 40K is the estimation that they would gain in extra revenue per year on 1 year, first year investment of $500, and the following years it'll be about $300. That's it, and then they're gaining that additional revenue per year.
Man, that's significant.
Yes,
let's see. So I do want to spend some time on your show also. So this show, sure. I think it's really interesting what you're doing in these interviews, and I've seen some of the videos and things that you have on LinkedIn. So it's called The Growth Mindset. So tell us a little bit about your show and the plans for it.
So it came about because Carol Dweck wrote this book called The Growth Mindset. So 2-3 years, or almost 3 years ago now, when I got into the business essential, so someone, a mentor essentially suggested Think and Grow Rich. And that became my love affair pretty much for personal development. So that became my passion. Every day I read books, YouTube, whatever I can get hold of. So at one point, I forgot who I was talking to, but I'm like, why don't I share all this stuff? Whatever I'm learning, why don't I share it with other people and see who can benefit from that? And then I kind of thought, like, I'm not a professional. I'm not like, I can't do this cool videos and all that stuff. So I decided I'll just go record, and then I'll post it on LinkedIn. And I'll create a YouTube channel. Hey, I get audience or not, doesn't matter. It's my passion. I just want to share it. So it started with books. Every week I read books and I share that. Hey, this book is great and why this book is great kind of deal. And then now it's migrated to where I kind of do the similar thing like you, interview business owners, coaches, whoever can teach somebody something in less than 10 minutes. Or give some valuable info. That's my goal. So recently I started with ending the show with, hey, what's the one thing you can give to the audience, either in the business or personal, a tip on how to grow in their business or their personal life, which is basically that the growth mindset concept on they're always growing. There's no end to it. So that's pretty much the channel.
So, Raju, I'm going to ask you a loaded question now, and it's a terrible question. I ask all my show hosts it, and I apologize in advance because it's like asking you if you had kids, like, which kid's your favorite? Tell us one of your favorite episodes. Like, tell us a story from one of your favorite episodes. And the reason I ask you this question is because I want to give my audience a flavor for the content because I want them to go check it out. I told you it was a terrible question. I told you it was the worst, and I do it every time, and I sit back and I smile before I ask the question because I know it's painful, and I hope nobody ever asks me it, so that's why I put everybody else through that pain.
Actually,
go ahead.
No, perfect, actually. Maybe the first one, because first time I did it, it's not on the channel, but it was my first video, which was completely uncomfortable. Completely out of my comfort zone. I don't even like taking selfies, so putting myself on video and talking, right? So it was uncomfortable, but man, that received a lot of response because it was so, I guess, authentic, and people saw my discomfort.
So what was so give us a story. Like, what was it about? What was the interview? Like, tell us about the guest.
It was an interview. It was about a book.
It was about a book. This one was a book one. Okay, got it. All right.
Yes,
what book was it?
Damn it! I'm trying to remember what book it was. I just remember being uncomfortable.
All right, give me a guess. Give me a guess one. I want a guess one because you changed the format up a bit. That's right. You changed the format. So give me a guess one.
Right.
Give me one of your recent shows. Tell us about a conversation you had. I know you're getting these tidbits. I got to make sure some of those tidbits overflow onto my audience over here because I want them to go check you out because I've seen what you're doing. It's really cool. So tell us about a recent guest. It doesn't have to be your favorite. A recent guest that sticks out.
Yeah, this one, because I started with the growth, mindset question. The last one I did was great because, his name is Brian Adams. He's commercial real estate fundraiser and a syndicator, by the way. I might ask him to contact you. So anyway, I asked him, hey, what's the one tip you can give the audience on what they can do to grow themselves or do better in their business? And his tip was awesome. So he gave the answer that, hey, have 3 to 4 people you can go to, not what you can learn, but ask them questions on what you don't want to do or the mistakes to avoid. That would be the greatest benefit somebody can get because anybody can tell you what to do. Very few people can tell you what not to do with experience, actually. So, but somebody is actually really successful, not somebody, you don't go ask somebody who's walking on the street or who hasn't done anything, right? So.
No, I love that tip. That's a big one. And then, like, why would you take information? Well, not saying everybody doesn't have anything to give, by the way. It just means that, if you can get to the person that maybe has the answers that you want or the insight that you want, then start there. If you can't, then I like and I've done the same in my career many times, and I still do it. Pick up a book. Somebody's written a book that's done. You may not be able to talk to them directly, right? Mm-hmm. But you can get their information and their knowledge through the book. And that's the main reason why we write books and why we put them out there. So it's a big deal. I love what you're doing there, Raju. So that being said, final question: if somebody is listening to this and they want more information and they want to connect and learn more about your show, they want to learn more about your business overall, I mean, what's the best way for them to reach out and to do that?
One is obviously my LinkedIn is the best way to reach me. I'm always open to connect to anybody. Talk to anybody, as long as it's not just purely one-way sales call. We just talk to each other, get to know each other, help each other out or something, sure. So Raju Datla is over there, is my LinkedIn account. You'll see, I guess, I don't know, you can't see, but anyway, you search me under Raju Datla and you'll see as a technology leadership, real estate investor. So that would be me based out of Euless, Texas. The other one is the Growth Mindset, my YouTube channel. I would appreciate anybody taking a look at it. Give me feedback, like, hey, do this better, or do this. If you do this, it might be more entertaining or more informative. Whatever. I'm open to feedback on that. Always looking to grow, like I said. So.
Fantastic. Well, Raju, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great stuff that you're doing over at Mikshi Essential Services and also, of course, your show, The Growth Mindset. So great stuff there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Raju, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you, Adam. So I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.